Unahin ko lang muna doon sa second oral arguments. Kasi mamaya meron akong ipi-play na mahalagang punto sa nangyari kahapon. Third oral arguments ata kahapon. Pero dito sa ikalawa muna, ang significant na nangyari po doon, Prof, na nalaman na merong isang proyekto na umutang tayo para mapondohan yung proyekto na yon, yet hindi siya ginamit. Tapos, yung pondo galing sa PhilHealth, gustong ilagay doon sa proyekto na yon. Ano yung nakikita mo dito, Prof, sa mga ganitong klase ng budgeting? Kasi pag budgeting, kahit nga sa pamilya, pwede ba yung mga gano'n na mahahalagang pagbabudget tapos bigla na lang may na-divert yung budget mo?
Hindi nga ata yan budgeting, ang tawag dyan cheating. Cheating ang tawag dyan. Kasi nga, na-shock din ako doon kasi sinasabi nga, doon sa oral argument, napakinggan ko actually yun, na sinasabi nga niya, may dinajustify ang gobyerno ni Marcos Jr. na kaya kumuha ng pera sa PhilHealth kasi ipupondohan yung isang project na kung saan actually yung project na yon originally, ang ipopondo dapat sa kanya is inutang at saka I think yung inutang na yon probably that one I don't know kung pumasok na rin yung utang na yon to finance that project sa kaba ng bayan. Pero ang tanong kasi ng isang justice diyan is so kung inutang natin yung pondo para sa project na yan, dapat yun ang gagamitin mo para sa project na yan. So why are you trying to get funds from PhilHealth to finance that project in the very first place, at nasaan ang pondo na inutang for that project na ngayon ang ginagamit nyo ay pondo ng PhilHealth when in fact dapat hindi. So which is a very, very good question from one of the justices ng Supreme Court kasi doon mo makikita at doon lumalabas ang mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa ng gobyerno na hindi alam ng publiko. Kasi I don't think this is just one of those many cases na hindi natin alam na mga Pilipino. I think there are other cases na ganon, ngunit hindi na-uncover dahil wala ngang transparency. Ito yung issue ng transparency and accountability ng gobyerno when you talk about finances and when you talk about ito yung mga transfer of funds from one agency to the other or from one specific agency to a project na hindi mo maintindihan bakit ginagalaw ng gobyerno ang halimbawa ang PhilHealth funds kasi ita-transfer mo into something para daw i-finance ang isang project. Kasi ang justification din ng Marcos Jr. administration, especially ng DOF, Department of Finance, even dyan sa reserve fund na transfer na nagkakahalaga ng may sinasabi silang 60 billion pesos ang transfer sa Treasury to finance unprogram appropriation daw ng current administration ni Marcos Jr. Pero ang tanong, ano yung unprogram appropriation na sinasabi mo? Very specific ba yan? May budget items ba yan? May specific na computation ba yan? Unprogram nga. So ibig sabihin, it's subject to the it's subject to the discretion kung sino man ang humahawak ng budget, which is the executive level. So at ang nagbibigay kasi niyan, ang nagdedetermine ng budget, the purse is in the hands of the Congress. So makikita mo sa mga ganitong oral arguments na sa akin kasi ang reaction ko doon is, oh shit, sabi ko. So kung may ganitong nangyari, is this the only one? Is this the only case? Or marami pang ganito, ngunit hindi natin alam ng mga Pilipino? Kasi that's not an issue of budgeting, that's an issue of cheating. Parang chini-cheat mo Chini-cheat mo ang PhilHealth. In that regard, yung budget ng PhilHealth in that regard, na ginagamit mo siya sa isang project na may supposed to be pondo naman dahil inutang nga yung pondo na yon. Ngunit gina-justify mo na yung transfer of funds ng PhilHealth doon sa project na yon is supposed to be hindi naman dapat. Kasi nga may dapat na pondo yan. Asaan na yung inutang mo? Saan napunta yung inutang na para doon sa project na ngayon sinasabi nila na would be funded by the funds of PhilHealth na transferred to the National Treasury to a certain extent. So parang, may ganito? Oh my God. Yung una ko talagang reaction dyan is like, hala, so ibig sabihin, kung nangyari ito, baka marami pang mga ganitong cases na hindi natin alam.
Sabi nga ng mga netizen, pag na-transfer ba yung pondo para sa kalusugan, lulusog ba yung mga doon sa pagtatayo ng tulay na yun, yung sabi nga kasi iba yung parang itong intended yung budget sa PhilHealth para sa kalusugan niya ng ating mga kababayan. Ang ganda pa nga ng batas na yun, Universal Healthcare Law. Andun yan po para sa healthcare. Pero nilipat mo siya sa isang proyekto na hindi naman para sa kalusugan na unang-una meron ng budget doon. Bakit kailangan magkaroon ng pagbabudget? Di po ba pag gumawa ng proyekto, pinag-aralan na yan, lalo na ito, malaking proyekto itong yung tulay na ito na magdudugtong sa ilang mga lugar dyan sa Western Visayas na kumbaga dadan ito sa matinding pag-aaral, tapos ito yung isasubmit mo ba sa bangko kung saan ka uutang?
Saan ka uutang?
Tapos hindi pala gagamitin para doon.
Yun na nga yung doon, yun nga magandang tanong din ng isa sa mga justices dun sa oral argument. Ang sinasabi niya, so nasaan na yung pondo ng project na yun? Kasi that is really true. Wherever you go, may it be in the public sector, on the private sector, kapag uutang ka sa bangko, or even to an NGO, even to governments, ang ginagawa mo is, you will come up with a proposal, at sa proposal na yun, dalawa yung parts ng proposal. Kasi ginagawa ko to Kasi I worked for a long time when I was, kung hindi pa ako nag-aaral sa abroad, marami akong naging trabaho in and out of the country, based abroad, and I was based in other countries kasi for 10 years before I went back to the Philippines. So, din dyan sa Pilipinas, marami akong naging trabaho as a consultant na ako ang gumagawa ng tinatawag mong project proposal ng mga NGOs or even some agencies. Na ang sa project proposal na yan, actually, kaya gumagawa ng project proposal kasi maglalabi ka ng pondo para sa agency na yan or para sa NGO na yan. So usually, sa isang proposal for a project, may it be infrastructure, may it be health, social services, whatsoever, basta project proposal pinag-uusapan mo, dalawa yung component niyan. May narrative na part ka, yung narrative explaining the project in a narrative way, at mayroon kang financial component. Yung financial component, you explain kung ano yung pagkakagastusan ng budget in a very detailed manner and specific manner, justifying even every budget items dun sa financial part ng project proposal, at may explanatory notes ka pa dyan. Kasi pag nilabi mo yan sa bangko or sa isang agency, like for example, Australian Aid or even in a World Bank or ADB, I work with ADB. I was a consultant in ADB for like 4 years. And I am very much aware of all of these things kasi gumagawa kami niyan when I was working in ADB as a project specialist consultant. So alam ko anong ibig sabihin nito. So ang ginagawa mo, detalyado yung narrative, detalyado yung financial part ng project proposal mo, para pag nilabi ka ng pondo, makikita nila kung saan mo gagamitin specifically yung pondo na nilalabi mo from them. And that's the only way, kapag na-justify mo lahat, that's the only way for you to get the fund. So ngayon, kung ganon ang specification ng project na tulay, so ibig sabihin, may pondo yan. Kasi kung in-approve yan ng kung saan mo inuutang yung pera, ibig sabihin may pondo yan at very specific ang mga pangangailangan yan. So ngayon ang tanong ko, kung na-approve yung pondo ng para sa tulay na yan na magkakabit sa whatever parts ng Western Visayas, ang tanong, bakit kailangan mo ng PhilHealth Fund? Kasi ang PhilHealth Fund, if you really look at it, kahit nga sinasabi ng mga justices sa oral arguments nila, is a very sacred, sabi nga ng isang justice, ni Justice Xavier, it's a sacred and untouchable fund, especially the reserve fund. Kasi specific ang gamit niya. Ang gamit niya is for health, at saka lahat ng gastusin na has something to do with the health and welfare ng mga Pilipino, na doon mo siya dapat gagamitin. So, ang tanong, why do you have to reappropriate or rechannel it to something like a tulay when in fact the tulay na pupondohan, may budget na inutang mo? And one thing ang tanong nga dalawa.
Apo.
Okay, fine. Mayroon ka, ang tanong, asa na napunta yung inutang mo para sa tulay na yon? Pangalawa, ang utang, ibinabayaran po yan ng gobyerno. Gobyerno pa rin ang nagbabayad ng utang na yan, lalo na kung kino-consider yan as it's a local debt from a private entity, or even if it's a foreign debt coming from other sources like multilateral institutions like ADB, World Bank, or even governments. Babayaran mo yan. Ang tanong, sinong nagbabayad niyan? Eh di ba tayo pa rin mga Pilipino kasi taxpayers money yan? And even the funds sa PhilHealth, bottom line pa rin yan, taxpayers money pa rin yan or galing yan sa katas ng mga Pilipino kasi lahat tayo, even I, nagbabayad ako ng PhilHealth every month. And even as a business person, mayroon din kami contribution sa kasi may company kami. Ang contribution namin is kalahati ata or mas malaki ang binabayaran namin para sa empleyado kaysa doon at ang empleyado din. So dalawa. So ibig sabihin, ang tanong ngayon diyan, nasaan na yung mga pera na yon? Kasi redirect nila yung PhilHealth funds doon eh.
Actually, itong sa pagbabayad ng contribution sa PhilHealth, Doc, maliban pa ito sa ibinabayad na tax. Hindi lang ito tax eh. Kasi kumbaga, kinukuha din ito sa sahod mo. Maliban pa sa tax, ipinagkatiwala mo sa gobyerno, pero hindi na napupunta maraming question. Pero bago lang si Master Judea, ipaparinig lang natin itong dalawang mahalagang audio. Kasi audio lang itong ng oral arguments kahapon. Unahin ko lang muna sa pag-play itong paggigisa ni Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Co. Jr. Concerning hinggil sa alignment ng funding request ng PhilHealth sa existing legal requirements related to tax collection kung saan kanyang
purposes of preparing the NEP, the PhilHealth will submit to the Office of the President a budget. Part of that budget is the amount of subsidy for indirect contributors. How much do you ask for and what was the basis for this amount?
Ang sasagot nito ay ang Deputy Treasurer ng ating bansa si Eduardo Anthony Marino.
Your Honor, if I may, I'm not familiar on the exact amount, but in terms of the process, I know I am to the best of my knowledge, the proposal of PhilHealth is well put together with with DOH. So it's a DOH budget submitted to DBM for evaluation.
No, the reason why I ask this, we have laws that allocate funds to answer for the subsidy of government to PhilHealth. Mentioned earlier, sin taxes, etc., etc. Now, do you know the actual collection of government corresponding to these taxes? And if you have computed this amount, do this equal to the amount PhilHealth requested Office of the President for purposes of subsidy for indirect contributors?
Your Honor, I do not have with me the exact certifications
I need to get an answer to this, because this is in relation to the question of a special fund. Yung collection ng gobyerno sa mga taxes, PAGCOR, etc., 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 for the year, ito rin ba ang hiningi ng PhilHealth sa Office ng President para doon sa subsidy ng indirect contributors? For me, it should be the same amount.
I believe our colleagues from PhilHealth or probably DOH would be in a better position to answer this on the exact amounts, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo from the Department of Health.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. To the question on how the PhilHealth computes its request for a budget, it does not refer to the computation on the syntax allocation. Instead, it counts the number of members based on a database. There is a database on indirect members, and then it generates a list. It enumerates the number. The exact number escapes me now, but this is the process. And then that number is submitted, multiplied by a factor, which is the premium rate, and then it is submitted to the Department of Budget Management.
When you come up with your budget request for the subsidy, you don't actually consider the taxes being collected that Congress passed for purposes of subsidy for indirect contributors.
That is correct, Your Honor. The budget is computed based on the need.
So they're not following the law? You're not observing what the law requires?
Your Honor, budget principles require that it's needs-based. If we will follow it based on the projected fund ceiling or availability, it might not match certain needs.
Yes, I agree. It's based on needs. But the problem there is PhilHealth limits the funding so that you don't address the needs, the health needs of the Filipino people. If you increase budget 200%, and I don't think the Filipino would not avail of that. You define your own limits. The Congress allocates budget or collects taxes, provides for collection of taxes to answer for the subsidy of PhilHealth for indirect contributors. Now, when you request money for subsidy, ang ibig mong sabihin, hindi mo papakailam yun? Hindi mo naiintindihin yun? Gagawa ka ng sarili mong formula because you have limited understanding, there's a limited need of our people for health.
Your Honor, the current administration agrees with your observation, which is why this particular case under litigation has been the signal it has been using to increase the benefits. Ang tagal na po, 10
So
taon.
therefore, if the current administration recognize that, very thank you. And therefore, they should bring back the money back to PhilHealth.
Your Honor, the reason why the administration recognized it because for the longest time, the corporation has thought it will always get money because of the guarantee of the sin
Oh,
tax.
precisely, whatever would be. Whatever is that. As long as the government recognizes now, it is now incumbent on the part of government to return the 60 billion that was transmitted already because it recognized now. Hindi lang na-recognize probably before. Ngayon na-recognize na. So therefore, when you recognize it, you should return it. What do you think?
Yun ang mga tinig ni Associate Justice Supreme Court of the Philippines Antonio Co. Yung unang sumagot sa kanyang katanungan, yung Deputy Treasurer natin, si Eduardo Anthony Marino, and yung huling sumagot sa kanyang mga katanungan ay si Assistant Secretary Albert Francisco Domingo. Prof, anong masasabi nyo dun sa unang audio natin na pinarinig?
Oh, tama naman kasi ang ina-argue lang kasi ang lumabas kasi diyan sa specific na segment ng oral argument is ganito. Bakit hindi sinusunod ng PhilHealth ang batas? Kasi sa batas malinaw na nagsasabi ang batas ng Universal Healthcare Act, no? And the funds for PhilHealth shall be sourced out from the following. First is total incremental sin tax collection. Pangalawa, 50% of the national government share from the income of the Philippine Amusement Gaming Corporation.
Prof,
ito yung
bago ka pumunta doon sa pangalawa, yung una muna, yung total incremental sin tax, ito yung mga tax na nakukuha doon sa mga sin products. Yes. Okay? 100%
sin
nun.
products like cigarettes.
Oo.
Yeah,
alak.
Yes.
Oo. So lahat
alak.
na yan, lahat ng tax na kinuha dyan, pasok agad sa PhilHealth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yun ang sinasabi ng justice. Actually, hindi lang siya ang nagsasabi nun. Dalawa sila.
Oo, mamaya, mapapakinggan din natin si Justice sa Ami Lazar.
Pati si Javier, actually, they agreed on this, si Justice Javier. So yun, una, incremental taxes. Pangalawa, 50% of the national government share from the income of the Philippine Amusement Gaming Corporation. Ito yung PAGCOR. So imagine 50%. Malaki yun. And another one, 40% of the charity fund, net of documentary stamp tax payment and mandatory contribution
mula sa
of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office.
PCSO.
Ito yung PCSO. Na kung saan yung mga loto-loto, di ba? Diyan yan, di ba? 40% dapat yan.
Maraming nagkaka-milyonaryo dyan. Maraming nananalo
Asa na yung contribution sa PhilHealth,
tapos D.
Tapos yung isa, yung premium contribution ng members,
binabayad.
Yung halimbawa ako, nagbabayad ako ng premium, nagbabayad ako.
Employers and employee yung nagbabayad niyan.
Nagbabayad. Dalawa yan, ha? Isa, like for example, ako employee, nagbabayad ako para dun sa employee ko.
May share.
Employee ko. Tapos employee, nagbabayad din. Ako rin, as ako, as a member,
employee.
nagbabayad ako. That's even outside of the business. Take note of that. So another one is yung annual appropriation of the Department of Health included in the GAA. Tapos yung national government subsidy to PhilHealth included in the GAA. So ito yung mga, kumbaga, ito kasi ang nasa batas ng Universal Healthcare Law na ang assumption kasi dyan, since it's in the law, you actually, wala nang question yan. It's supposed to be like that kasi batas yan eh.
Automatic na.
So wala nang dapat question dyan. Automatic yan, pasok doon sa pondo ng PhilHealth. para i-finance kung ano ang mga dapat, ano yung mga programs and project ng PhilHealth at para i-expand pa ang coverage ng mga Pilipino when you talk about healthcare issues. And even then, to lower the premium. Kasi ang kailangan mo kasi sa universal healthcare na law, actually, ang intention ng batas is darating tayo sa punto na actually wala na tayong babayaran na premium or wala nang babayaran ng mga Pilipino that they can get their healthcare, they can go to especially even public and even private hospital na pagpasok mo gagamutin ka, hindi ka kailangan maglabas ng pera. Darating tayo dapat sa punto na yun. Yun naman yung intention ng batas. Kaya nga, ang very defined doon sa batas, ang sinasabi na itong mga to, diretso dapat yan sa PhilHealth. Hindi na yan, ang sinasabi kasi ng mga justices, hindi na yan dapat na sa subject sa sinatawag mong political negotiation. Why do you negotiate something when it's already in the law? Tapos ang sinasabi din nila, why is it that PhilHealth Board is doing its own computation without actually considering kung anong nasa batas? Kasi ang dinadastify ni Domingo, gumagawa sila ng computation based on needs. At saka, napakinggan ko yung buong oral arguments eh. Ang sinasabi din nitong mga to sa PhilHealth based on needs, may member, ang kinukompute nila based on the number of membership na nasa database nila. So parang, So, ibig mong sabihin, hindi kayo sumusunod sa batas. Yun yung punto ng mga justices. So, it means PhilHealth is not actually following the law.
Eto, Prof, yung pangalawang pagtatanong, ito naman si Associate Justice Ami Lazaro Javier. Okay? Eto, natanong din, almost same din sa naging yung laman ng unang pagtatanong. Ito, pakinggan muna natin. Ang kanyang, ang sumasagot dito, ang kanyang tinatanong at sumasagot, ay si PhilHealth Senior Vice President Renato Limsiaco Jr. At sino pa ba ang mga sumagot sa kanya? Yun lang. Dalawa lang sila dito na maririnig natin na bosses. Ito, pakinggan po.
Oo, nahirap si Limsiaco sagutin ang mga tanong ni Justice Lazaro.
Ito,
the point na dinismiss na lang siya ni Justice Lazaro.
Ito, pakinggan natin yung parte. Almost 4 minutes dito.
So, would you agree that political negotiation is a principal factor in determining the amount of reserve funds to be fixed by the PhilHealth Board?
Your Honor, in the coming up of the approved JAA for PhilHealth, PhilHealth submitted the proposal, and based on the evaluation of DBM, it will be incorporated in the NEP.
Yes.
Your Honor. And during the time that it will be deliberated in the Congress, Your Honor, that's the time that on the part of, as mentioned by GCC, Your Honor, political negotiations come in. It is either retained based on the NEP or it will be increased, Your Honor, depending on the appreciation of the Congress as well, Your Honor.
All right. So does it mean that you still negotiate the transmittal of the appropriations fixed by law under Section 37?
Your Honor, we have Section 37, Your Honor, but of course, in the final JA, Your Honor, it is negotiation, Your Honor, PhilHealth, Department of Health, and the Congress, Your Honor, on
you have to negotiate it, notwithstanding the clear command of Section 37, that the appropriations shall come from these funds, from these sources. You have to negotiate.
Your Honor, negotiation in the sense that, of course, the Congress asking PhilHealth on its utilization of the previous and the implementation of the program as well, Your Honor. And it is our on the side of PhilHealth, Your Honor, we depend the proposal of the corporation, Your Honor, of course, and that it will be retained based on the NEP or it will be increased, Your Honor.
So the percentages are negotiated even though they are fixed by law, like 50% from PCSO.
Your Honor,
80% from syntax. Do you still negotiate or it should be automatic?
Your Honor, depending on the amount that will be computed by Department of Finance, Your Honor, on the percentages.
You know, the amount is a mere arithmetical computation. we go by the percentages fixed by law.
Yes, Your Honor.
So despite the percentages fixed by law, you know, the actual amount, it's just a computation. So does it mean that Congress is not following the percentages prescribed by law?
Your Honor, in the past years, Your Honor, based on the NEP, it is carried, Your Honor, in the General Appropriations Act.
You know, my question is very clear.
Yes, po.
I'm talking about the percentages fixed by law under Section 37. My impression from your statement is that despite the percentages already fixed by law, the Congress, you still need to negotiate with Congress for the actual percentages that may be included in the GAA for the subsidy of PhilHealth. Is that the reality on the ground?
Yes, Your Honor. We tried to defend the proposal of the corporation,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Yan ang mga tinig ni na Associate Justice Amy Lazaro Javier at ang sumasagot sa panig ng PhilHealth ay si Senior Vice President Renato Limsiaco Jr. Bago lang